If you've made a spare car key at your local locksmith, you might be wondering why the car won't start, even though the key is identical to the original. Even if your original key has no remote lock features on it, there's still a transponder chip hidden behind the plastic that acts as an additional layer of anti-theft protection. Unfortunately, there's no real way to start a car without the transponder chip. However, if you want to use several keys but only have one chip, then there's a way to get them all to work. What is a transponder key? Transponder keys, chip keys, or key fobs, as they're sometimes referred to, are the classic metal keys with an anti-theft chip fitted inside the plastic cover. Vehicle safety systems come in layers, with the key itself being one. By nature, the most straightforward way to steal a car is to use the original key. Like in the movies, thieves would snatch keys for a moment and make imprints to later replicate. To prevent this from happening, manufacturers introduced transponder chips. Without one, even a perfect copy of a key won't crank the engine, because there's no chip to emit the RFID radio frequency identification. When the key is inserted into the lock, the car checks whether the unique RFID frequency can be detected. The chip inside a transponder key emits a very weak signal that can only be registered in the immediate proximity of the lock. If your car has a transponder key, a thief would have no other option but to steal your keys, which you'll notice more quickly and react in time to prevent the theft. How to start my car without a chip key. Transponder chips are designed so they can't be bypassed in any way, meaning you can't start a car without the chip. An authorized dealership can read the required frequency from your vehicle and create a replacement. However, there is a workaround you can try if you have one transponder chip available. 1. Remove the plastic cover from your key. You may need to use a screwdriver or pliers to apply leverage as the seal is very tight. 2. Take out the transponder chip. It looks like a very small black square or a see-through tube. 3. Place the chip on a piece of tape, then attach it near the ignition lock. 4. Try to start the key with your disassembled key or a replacement key that doesn't have the chip. 5. If the car doesn't start, reposition the piece of tape and try again. 6. Once you've found a spot for the chip that works, secure it in place with superglue, because the transponder chip is always next to the ignition lock. Any copy of your key will work as if it had a chip. The obvious drawback is that you're losing a layer of security. However, car security systems act as deterrents. Locked doors and wheel immobilizers prevent thieves of opportunity from driving off in your vehicle, but will rarely stop the professionals. Ironically, in some instances, it might even act as a better security system, because close proximity of two transponder chips will cause interference. This is also why you shouldn't use keys with the transponder chip still inside if you glue one next to the ignition lock. Maybe the previous section wasn't what you were looking for, so I'll expand this guide with more key-related issues and solutions. How to start a car without a key fob. The technology in the transponder chip evolved into modern keyless fobs that only need to be in the vicinity of the ignition to start the engine. It's normal for these battery-powered chips to stop functioning, so manufacturers made sure you have an easy alternative to open the vehicle and start the engine. As you've never had to use it, you might not be aware that the fob contains a compact physical key inside it. There's usually a small cover on one side of the fob. Pull it off and you'll get to an L-shaped metal key. Put it into the fob in reverse, and it can be used just like a regular key to open the door and crank the engine until you get replacement batteries. Another alternative to the key fob is using the mobile app to unlock and start the vehicle. Depending on the manufacturer, you'll need to sign up for one of the following apps: Audi, MMI, Connect; Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Uconnect; Chevrolet, Cadillac, GMC, Buick, OnStar Remote Link; Ford and Lincoln, Sync Connect; BMW, Connected Drive; Hyundai, BlueLink; Nissan, Nissan Connect; Infiniti, Infiniti InTouch; Lexus, Lexus Inform; Subaru, Starlink, how to program a transponder key without the original. You've probably seen a lot of answers that tell you to do something like the following method. 1. Place the key into the ignition and set it to the on position. 2. Leave it in the on position for about 10 minutes, then turn it back to off. 3. Repeat the process 2 more times. 4. Remove the key. This is a great method of wasting half an hour and a decent chunk of your battery's charge. No matter what some people say, RFID chips cannot be programmed that easily. In fact, you will not be able to program them at all by yourself. Even if you still have one transponder key, You won't be able to copy the chip code into another without an authorized dealer or an independent locksmith. I'm not going to go into details about how the transponder chip is programmed, as I'm not sure myself, but the issue is that you need the right tools to copy the frequency of one and store it into the other. If working without an original, the locksmith has to access the database and find your car's radio frequency ID, or use special tools to get it from the car. This is made more difficult by the fact that the car isn't transmitting. It's receiving, so there's no way to pick up the frequency and identify what it wants to read. Always have a transponder. Key backup. You should read this section even if you've still got a fully functional key, as it's only a matter of time until it becomes useful and saves you hundreds of dollars. First, if you still have a transponder key, get it copied immediately. Copying an existing key is far easier than making one from scratch. Replicating the key is cheap and quick, and you can program the remote controls yourself. RFID chips have become popular as gate or building entrance locks, so a lot of locksmiths now have the means of replicating it for your car key as well. I would even go as far as to create another RFID chip, whether it's a car or a gate chip, just so I have an additional backup for future copying. Cheapest way to get a new transponder key. If you've already lost all your key copies, you'll have to hire someone to make you a new one. Depending on who you hire, you're looking at a $200 to $600 expense. Going to the dealership makes a lot of sense on the surface. After all, you've bought your car there, so it makes sense that they'll have the quickest and cheapest way of reproducing the key. The truth is quite opposite. Not only will you have to tow your car there, but also pay over $400 to get a new key created. On the other hand, an independent locksmith can get the job done for less than half the cost, with some even traveling to your destination. Call all the locksmiths in your area and find the best deal. However, set the terms so you'd pay only if they successfully finish the job. Some locksmiths will attempt and fail to replicate the key and act as if your car is to blame. To summarize, starting the car without the transponder chip won't be possible, but at least now you know the alternative methods of getting inside your vehicle. If you found this article useful, then I'll suggest taking a look at our other guides and reviews to learn more useful tips about car maintenance and repairs and clever ways to save some cash. I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and follow so you don't miss any of my videos.